Welcome to today's lesson on reflex responses, where we will explore the fascinating mechanisms behind rapid, automatic reactions to stimuli and how they operate without involving the conscious part of our brain. In today's lesson, we will first understand that reflex responses are rapid, automatic responses to stimuli that do not involve the conscious part of the brain. We will look into the structure of a nerve cell. Finally, we will learn about synapses and how an impulse is passed between neurons. So far, you have learned about the structure and function of the nervous system. This includes the basic anatomy of the central and peripheral nervous systems and how they communicate to coordinate the body's responses. Building on this foundation allows us to introduce the concept of reflex responses and delve deeper into how the nervous system can execute these quick, involuntary actions. By understanding reflex arcs, nerve cell structures, and synapses, we gain valuable insights into the efficiency and complexity of our nervous system's ability to maintain homeostasis and protect the body from potential harm. Let's get started. To start, imagine accidentally touching a hot stove. You swiftly pull your hand away without even thinking about it. This quick reaction is a reflex response, a rapid and automatic action your body takes to protect you from harm. Reflex responses are crucial because they help animals, including humans, react swiftly to potentially dangerous situations without needing time to process the stimuli consciously. Now, let's understand how this rapid response works through the reflex arc. The reflex arc is the pathway that an impulse follows from a receptor to an effector. The receptor detects the stimulus. In our stove example, the receptor in your skin senses the heat. Once the receptor detects the stimulus, it sends an electrical impulse along a sensory neuron towards the central nervous system, CNS. On reaching the CNS, the impulse passes to a relay neuron. The relay neuron is located in the spinal cord, or an unconscious part of the brain, bypassing the conscious part to save time. The relay neuron then sends the impulse down a motor neuron. Finally, the motor neuron carries the impulse to an effector, which could be a muscle or gland that carries out the response. In our stove example, the effector would be the muscles in your hand pulling away. To visualize this, think of it as a rapid relay race where the baton, representing the impulse, is quickly passed from one runner, representing the neuron, to the next, until the final runner, representing the effector, reaches the finish line, representing the response. Let's look at the structure of a nerve cell. Neurons, or nerve cells, are specially structured to efficiently carry these impulses. The axon is a long, thin extension that transmits the electrical impulse. The axon is insulated by a myelin sheath, which is a fatty layer that speeds up transmission. Dendrons and dendrites are tiny branches that receive electrical impulses from other cells, helping with communication between neurons. The junction between two neurons is called a synapse. Neurons are not directly connected, but communicate across these gaps. So, how does the impulse travel between neurons if they are not directly connected? This is where synapses come in. When an electrical impulse reaches the end of a neuron, it triggers the release of chemicals known as neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters diffuse across the synaptic gap and bind to receptors on the next neuron. This binding action prompts the generation of a new electrical impulse in the following neuron, continuing the transmission of the signal. This chemical bridge ensures that the electrical impulse can travel from one neuron to the next, allowing the reflex arc to function seamlessly. In today's lesson, we examined reflex responses, their rapid and automatic nature, and their independence from the conscious part of the brain. We discussed the structure of a reflex arc and how it ensures quick reactions to stimuli, involving receptors, sensory neurons, relay neurons in the spinal cord, motor neurons, and effectors such as muscles or glands. We also explored the detailed structure of nerve cells, emphasizing the dendrites, axon, myelin sheath, and synaptic terminals. Understanding these structures helped us grasp how nerve cells transmit electrical impulses efficiently, ensuring fast communication within the body. Finally, we covered neurons and synapses, the junctions between neurons. We learned how an impulse is transmitted across a synapse through the release of neurotransmitters, which cross the synaptic gap and bind to receptors on the next neuron, triggering a new electrical impulse. By understanding these concepts, you now have a clearer picture of how our bodies respond quickly and efficiently to changes in the environment, maintaining homeostasis and safeguarding our well-being.